My name is Jo. I was in a motorcycle accident back in August 2011. I have no memory of the accident at all. I was given ketamine at the scene, which may have made me lose my memory, or it may be that I've just blocked out the memory of the accident. I was riding pillion on the back of a motorcycle, and a foreign lorry driver was driving along a dual carriageway. He got lost. He was trying to find a supermarket. He got lost. He pulled out in front of us to go the wrong way down the dual carriageway, and unfortunately my partner at the time, he went straight into the side of the lorry, and I apparently went underneath the lorry and got trapped in the lorry wheel. I got trapped there for quite a while. There was the police, the ambulance, fire brigade, all trying to get me out from under the lorry. I was eventually removed and airlifted to a hospital. I was taken to hospital and I stayed there, luckily enough, for only a few days. When I initially woke up in hospital, I had absolutely no idea why I was there. I woke up and I was trying desperately to think what had happened to me, why I was there. Was I ill? Had I been in an accident? I had no idea. I was looking at my body to see what had happened, to see how I felt. I could see drips on me. I could feel that my neck was in a brace, and I could feel various bits of my body was hurting. I was asking the nurses what had happened, and they weren't saying anything to me at all. I then had a police lady asking me if I had any memory at all of an accident, and I didn't. And that's when I first realised that I had been in an accident. I kept asking then what happened to my partner, because obviously he had been in the accident as well, and unfortunately he had been killed outright instantly, which they weren't allowed to tell me again. My sister came to the hospital and she told me what had happened to my partner. I was in hospital a couple of days. I really wanted to get out of hospital as soon as I could. I just don't like hospitals. I didn't want to be in there. I was just desperate to get out. I did go to live with my sister for a while. She managed to look after me. I was very drugged up, had lots of drugs to take. I had actually broken my foot, my hand, various ribs. I had sprained all my wrists. I had a big bash on the head, obviously. The crash helmet had helped, but still had various marks and bruises on my face. My teeth hurt. It's just my whole body. When you have broken ribs, it's very difficult to breathe, to talk, and to do anything really. Just to move is so painful. And when you have sprained wrists and broken feet as well, to actually just manoeuvre yourself around, it's really, really hard. You spend a lot of the time asleep because your body is trying to mend. You take a lot of tablets. You're very lucky you have family and friends around you to support you through this time. It's very hard for them to see you in pain and to see you hurting. And you're very reliant on friends and family. That's what I found for a long time. For me, I was in one world before the accident. I used to go out on the bike all the time, and then after the accident it's like you wake up in a different world and you have no memory and you can't relate the two worlds. It's very strange. But you have to carry on. It's very hard to stay positive and not to be negative, but you have to push on. You have to try and get better, and your family and friends will help. I was very lucky. I worked for a very good company. I had 6 months off work, and they were very patient with me. When I eventually went back to work, they were very good, and I went back doing minimal duties, only 2 days a week, and gradually increased to 3. And then after quite a few months I eventually went back to full-time work. It's still hard. My memory is still bad. The bash I had on the head, the doctors explained it as affecting the marbles in my head. So when I used to stand up, I used to get terrible dizzy spells. When I used to roll over in bed, I used to get terrible dizzy spells as well. It was awful. But they stopped after about a year. I stopped having my dizzy spells. But you just keep fighting on. So the advice I can give to anyone is to deal with your physical injuries. Help yourself mentally. If you need to go for counselling, go for counselling. It really does help. I have been for counselling and I'm still going after 6 years, and I still find it really helpful. And just don't feel embarrassed if you need to. Everyone needs help, and you don't have to feel embarrassed to ask for help. If you are unfortunate and are like myself and are in an accident that involves going to court, you may well not be told anything about what happened to you. If you have no memory, they cannot tell you. The police liaison officer was not allowed to tell me what happened because I was due to give evidence at the court hearing. Even though I didn't remember, I still had to go up on the stand and say what sort of driver Mark was, how he rode the motorbike, what sort of experience he had, all sorts of stuff like that, which is not very pleasant at all. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to listen to anything that went on at court either. I was kept separate, so I didn't hear any of the witness statements. And it's not very nice as well seeing the person that caused your accident to actually put a face and a name to what's happened to you is not nice. It's something that I didn't want to deal with, but I had no choice. They did give me the offer of putting a curtain up so that I couldn't see him. But the problem is you still see him wandering around in the courtroom, outside the courtroom, so that was of no benefit, unfortunately. Just trying to think what else to say. The press, unfortunately, will also get involved. If it's an accident, the press can get quite invasive. The press did turn up on my doorstep. They wanted an interview. They also went up and down my street where I lived and wanted interviews from my neighbours. They wanted photos to put in newspapers. They gave reasons saying that other people want to know what's going on. They may know Mark, they may want to know what's happened to him, they may want to know what's happened to me. And I said, it's of no interest to anyone else. Everyone that knows. And I told them to go away. But I did tell the police liaison officer. They advised me to remove any photos, any information I had at all from the internet, from Facebook, anything like that at all, so that they can't get hold of any information. It's not a very nice angle, again, to have to deal with that when you're dealing with physical and mental trouble. To actually deal with press on top is awful. I did actually email them and tell them to go away and leave me alone. They were still writing stories. They were making up stories, making up things that I've said, which again was not very nice.